Joining us now is Okpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, OG.
Good morning, Dr. Abati. How are you?
Fine.
Perfect. Good morning, Tundu. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Perfect. I'm doing well. Good morning, Rufai.
Oggi, perfetto. Perfetto.
Good morning.
Yeah, morning.
Well, good morning to you, viewers. Here are some of the stories that are trending across the globe. In the United Kingdom, the 2021 Brits Award ceremony tops the trend. Former U.S. First Lady Michelle Obama made a surprise appearance with a video message as she presented the weekend with the International Male Solo Artist Prize.
So let's just say in a tough year, he's provided a light that's pretty blinding and given us all a reason to dance.
In the United States, a tiny sketch of a bear by Italian Renaissance artist Leonardo da Vinci is expected to sell at Christie's for over $16 million. The sketch is one of only 8 drawings left in private hands. In Italy, a 23-year-old student who was mistakenly given 6 doses of the Pfizer COVID vaccine has been discharged from a hospital in Tuscany. In India, doctors have warned citizens against the practice of using cow feces as a COVID cure amid rising cases of coronavirus in the country. In Israel, an airstrike on Tuesday evening hit a 13-story residential tower in Gaza Strip. The tower, which was home to an office used by the Hamas political leadership, collapsed soon after being hit. In Saudi Arabia, Haraman Sharifian has declared that fasting in the month of Ramadan continues, as the crescent for the month of Shawwal 1442 has not been sighted. As a result, Eid al-Fitr will be held on Thursday, May 13th. In Nigeria, the Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, is set to launch last-mile buses to serve as an alternative to commercial motorcycles. While the Cross River State government is set to deploy drones to deliver medical supplies to hard-to-reach areas in the state. Under sports, the anticipated fight between British-Nigerian heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury has been confirmed to take place in Saudi Arabia on either August 7th or the 14th. Finally, in entertainment, a film which captures the journey of Nigeria's Olympic team on their way to winning the gold medal at the Atlanta '96 Olympics football competition is set to be released in 2022. Well, let's begin what's trending in Nigeria. 3 suspects behind a job scam that almost led to the death of 42 northern youth in Ondo State last week have been apprehended by security operatives. The prime suspect, one Ayo, who claimed he was a Reverend Bayo and at the same time a Dr. Folajimi Williams, had allegedly sent out a fake security job alert in a non-existent oil company in Ondo State while asking applicants to pay 10,000 naira each for training and data capturing. Ayo then alerted some indigents of Ondo State that some Boko Haram terrorists who actually applied for the job were on their way to invade the state to launch serious attacks. Officials of the Department of State Services in Ondo State unraveled the scam, leading to their arrest.
So you are Reverend Bayo, and you are Dr. Folajimi Williams. So you were changing your voices at different locations. Okay. You are the Reverend Bayo who asked us to mobilize our men all over the Federation and move them to Ondo State. And you wrote a letter to the Ondo State Army Commander and said that he has given clearance. And the same you collaborated and asked somebody to come there and tag them Boko Haram members for them to be slaughtered. The same you. The way they went into the news viral, the same way you will go into the news viral. He will produce Folajimi Williams. You take note, you produce the person that's known as Dr. Folajimi Williams. 2, you will produce that man you sent to go and broadcast and put it all over the world through social media that the people you asked us to mobilize and bring, that they are Boko Haram members. And they were arrested by, what is it called? Amotekun. And many of them were almost slaughtered. And the thing hovered everywhere. This man stage managed that our members should be slaughtered. This man.
Tundu, this is another man's inhumanity to man. I mean, a job scam. It is completely unacceptable what this young man did. We've just finished talking about Umoran, justice for Umoran. The same thing happened to this woman. Imagine if those 42 northern youth had been slaughtered. What would we be saying by now?
I'm just completely stunned. This is so heinous because they lured them and then lied on them. You see why I'm paranoid? Whatever I'm told, I check,
yes,
cross-check, double-check, triple-check. I just don't believe anything negative and run with it because people lie. There are all kinds of mischievous psychos. And kudos to the security operatives who averted what could have been a mass murder. Those 42 Nigerians would have been slaughtered in the name of being Boko Haram, and the truth would never have been uncovered. What do people gain from this kind of evil? And you're right to link it to what happened to Inyobong, that tragedy. This is now a recurring theme that must be addressed.
Correct.
The desperation of Nigerians looking for jobs. And is it a crime to try and find employment? And they're so willing to pay. They're so willing to show up when they're told to show up. They left their hometowns early. They arrived before other people to show their eagerness to work. And this is how they're treated.
And for what? 1.4 million naira, Dr. Abati?
Well, this is the face of the evil that lives within men. Those guys were just criminals. I was looking at that, his name, Ayo, Bishop or Reverend, whatever he calls himself. You know, ordinarily you will look at him and say, oh, this guy looks innocent.
Right.
But was it not Macbeth, Shakespeare, that told us in Macbeth that there is no art to find the mind's construction on the face, and this fits into it. That's my first point. My second point, in a country where unemployment rate is 33.3%, you are bound to have a lot of young people out there who are desperate. And there are many people now in Nigeria, criminally minded persons, who are exploiting this to commit all kinds of crimes. In the case of Inyobong Umore, she was also going to look for a job.
Yes.
She had posted on Twitter that she needed jobs, she had these skills. Now somebody used that as an opportunity to invite her, and she got killed at the end of the day. Even here in Lagos, people will tell you, if you see all these employment notices on social media, you have to check and double check. So it's a question of you have to beware. You have to take extra precaution. The fact that you are looking for a job does not mean any announcement that you see following the regular format is something that you must follow. I mean, there is a case of a particular man who was invited for an interview appointment. When he got there, he was kidnapped. His family had to pay ransom before he escaped. He was lucky, he didn't die, but his family paid ransom. So this unemployment that we have in the country is a challenge that government needs to address.
Correct.
In our time, when we were younger, look, all these big companies at that time Nigeria was, you know, an industrial space. They will come to the university when you are in your final year. They will conduct interview for you in your final year, trying to recruit. I know many of my friends who are even in government departments who were recruited from campus. If you went for NYSC, you will see many companies, they will be there, they will come, they will give you lectures on jobs. In fact, they were attracting young, bright Nigerians. Now this is the same Nigeria. Nobody is wooing anybody to come and take a job. Instead, scammers, criminals, all kinds of fraudsters, they've taken over. It is the story of Nigeria. But let us commend, my third point, the DSS.
Correct.
For the efforts that they made in, preventing what will have led to mass murder. The 42 persons from the north came from Kanu and Jigawa. They didn't realize that this was a scam. By the time they realized it, it was late. And look at that Ayo, Bayo, whatever his name is. What kind of human being is that?
This is wickedness.
Rufai,
I think justice must be done.
Must. Rufai, your take on this story.
The Bible says in the book of Jeremiah 17 verse 9, that the heart of man is deceitful. Who can understand it? And that's what is playing out. Deceit. And he calls himself a reverend. What stupid reverend.
No, he's not a reverend. He was using it.
He was using it. And you see, that's what I have about religion. People will lie in the name. Put all sorts of name forward. But the point is, who gave them the chance? It's the failure of the government over the years that have given them this chance. The question I'll ask is, what was the government looking at that unemployment numbers soared to 33% in this country? 33%. Because this man will have caused a war. We don't pray for it. If those young people were slaughtered in the north, then reprisal will happen. That's how a country goes on fire.
But how do you know even that people have not been killed?
How do we know that all of this have not happened?
Happening, yes.
But I still put the blame back to the government, because what were successive governments, and see, listen, I'm not partisan. It's not about APC or PDP. What were successive governments doing in the country since the 70s? That unemployment number rose steadily up to 33%, and we're all looking at it. Henceforth, my solution is this. We must create jobs either way. And please, it's not 774,000 jobs that will give people hoes and cutlasses to be clearing grass. That's not the kind of job. We must create jobs. The Ministry of Labor must come out tall. We must have somewhere where we register people that are unemployed in this country. I'll probably put them on a benefit scheme till they get jobs. The popular British band UB40, the name came from unemployment benefit from 40. We must have unemployment benefits in this country. People must be given jobs. Furthermore, as if it's possible, let's start printing out monthly job numbers. So the government, through test, if any government say I'm working, let's judge it by how many jobs you are creating every month. Like we see monthly job numbers in America. If you don't meet the quota, then we don't. It's not just saying you will create 100 million jobs, bring 100 million people out of poverty. Let's on a monthly basis. How many jobs are Nigerians creating on a monthly basis in the first place? Let us start with data. Because that's how we can monitor this thing. We just keep saying create jobs, create jobs, create jobs. Nothing is happening because we're not monitoring. So we should start now by printing unemployment numbers and job creation numbers every month to be able to monitor, then see how we can bring ourselves. We're in a big problem. Let's not deceive ourselves. 33% unemployment rate in an economy where an average Nigerian is 17, 18 years of age. Very young people. You have problem. It's a ticking time bomb. Something must be done. That's why people are getting killed everywhere for looking for jobs, and they are paying money on it. Look at the other time, what happened at the immigration jobs, that people were stampeded to death.
Remember that. Well said, Rufai. We'll take another story. The Indigenous People of Biafra has denied allegations levied against it by the Lagos State Police Command that it is plotting an attack against the commercial hub of the nation. The Lagos State Police Commissioner, Hakeem Odumusu, on Monday had accused the Indigenous People of Biafra and other Yoruba separatist groups of plotting to attack the city of Lagos. The police claimed that they had identified 24 member groups, which they say have been put on a watch list. The leader of the Indigenous People of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, reacting to the claims, said it was made to fuel division between the Yoruba and the Igbos. He went further to state that it is not 1967 in an apparent reference to the civil war that broke out 50 years ago in a struggle for Biafra. I believe we will come back for your comments after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to the morning show. We're still on What's Trending. Tundu, before we went on a break, we took that IPOB story where the Indigenous People of Biafra's leader denied the allegations that was levied against them by the Lagos State Police Command on the attack on Lagos.
Well, before Nnamdi Kanu reacted, we had heard from our Yoruba Generalissimo, the Ariana Kakanfo, Gani Adams, that IPOB would not be attacking Lagos. But there's nothing like hearing it from the horse's mouth.
Yes.
This is a confirmation from Nnamdi Kanu. So we can now see that that divide and conquer tactic that worked so well in the colonial era has failed. There's nothing like that, and it's wonderful to see that unity. Great.
And that's the rhetoric everywhere.
Okay, first, I mean, before now, what we had was that IPOB and the Odua People's Congress will work together on certain ideological lines to ensure security. So it was shocking when Commissioner of Police Lagos, Hakeem Odumusu, announced publicly that they had indications that 24 separatist Yoruba groups were planning to attack Lagos, and that, even IPOB was targeting certain installations in Lagos. So the clarification from Iba Gani Adams and also from Nnamdi Kanu, I'm sure will calm, nerves and help to reduce the tension that was generated by the statement by CP Odumusu. However, CP Odumusu, as Commissioner of Police, is in a position to have access to some security information. He's not just a member of the State Security Council. He leads, the police command in Lagos, and he works in concert with other security agencies in Lagos. So what exactly did he know? Was he quoted out of context? Was he misinterpreted? Whatever it is, what he said will seem to amount on the surface of it to scaremongering. And when you do scaremongering, you can create panic. We've said repeatedly on this program that, look, state officials should refrain from expressing helplessness, from coming to the public to lament. They are wearing that uniform because they've been given an assignment by taxpayers, by the people of Nigeria, to provide security. So there are certain kinds of information that may not be necessarily useful to the ordinary people, because you can escalate the level of threat within the community. It is important, whatever Odumusu knows, to work in concert with others to make sure that Lagos is safe. That's his job. He should focus on it. And then Nnamdi Kanu saying this is not 1967. I think he chose a very good metaphor in that regard. In 1967, when the Civil War broke out, many Igbos, either in the north or in Ibadan, or even in Lagos, or Port Harcourt, they had to rush back home because the level of hatred, animosity, the targeting of the Igbo population was very high at that point. And Lagos at that time was the federal capital city of Nigeria. So Lagos was targeted because the war was between Nigeria and the Biafran Republic that had been declared. So Nnamdi Kanu is right that this is not 1967, and I think he's right in trying to reassure the people that there's no animosity between Yorubas and Igbos, and that this is a divide and rule tactics. Where that divide and rule strategy is coming from should be investigated. So there is an assignment here for even the Department of State Services to ensure that criminals do not take over the space the way they have taken over other spaces across the Federation.
Very well said, Dr. Abati. I thought it was important to highlight the story. Rufai.
I mean, there's so much confusion everywhere. I don't know what's happening. So much confusion. You hear one rhetoric here, you hear the rhetoric here, when all we should be concentrating on is how to develop this country. We've heard so much from the security authority. You don't even know the one that is true or is a lie again. What is really going on? What's going on? What's going on? Please, if we come together and live in peace and harmony, and our leaders do what is right for the people, we'll not have to go through all these security scares every time. I'm happy that Nnamdi Kanu has come out and said, no, there's no attack on Lagos. But the question is, how did we even get to this point in the first place? That there are agitations everywhere. How did we get to this point? Return to democracy was supposed to be a thing of joy after we fought the military out. And it was supposed to be consolidation of development. But how do we get to this point? That 20 years back into civilian rule, that we fought so hard for many years ago, we are hearing of division, secession, and everything, and all of that. What's really going on? What's going on?
Well said, Rufai. We'll take another story. Videos of soldiers alleged to be in Zamfara state, lamenting their poor living condition, has made the rounds. Let's take a look.
See, this was where the soldiers moved in. Empty hall. Empty hall. One captain just came out from no angle. Called himself captain. What was that his name? Captain for follow? Is it Fala here? Is it Fala what? Empty hall. Nothing is inside this hall. He chased all the soldiers out. This is Zamfara. One brigade camp. He came in, chased all the soldiers out, that they should go and sleep outside, where there are reptiles. As you can see now, these are soldiers' load, which he evacuated from the hall. Outside. Left an empty hall.
Bindu, I'm not really sure what to make of this video. It appears to be a drill. It may be a drill. It may not be. But a lot of outrage has been, shared on social media because obviously they are our soldiers and they should be protected and they should, be provided adequate welfare. If you would recall, I believe 2 months ago, the Nigerian army had come up with this rule that they're not supposed to release videos. So I wonder what would happen to this gentleman who
might be
recorded this
sanctions
video.
Here,
yes.
but I do hope that apart from that, they investigate this so we can assess the veracity or otherwise of the claims here in this video. But for me, when I heard about snakes, I panicked. I mean, how can you see? I mean, that was the worst for me. They need to investigate this and, you know, improve the conditions. If this is true,
well,
this
the point is that they said that they moved them outside to sleep outside.
Yes.
So I mean, I think sometimes it happens. They do the drill sometimes.
Exposed to the elements with snakes slithering around.
You don't
That's
want to
all I needed to hear.
You don't
all I
want
needed
to
to hear. Snakes. I was like, oh my gosh.
Dr. Abati, your comment.
Okay, first, well, I'm all for welfare of soldiers, and our soldiers doing a great job. I guess, you know, we can conveniently say that on the battlefield, their welfare is important.
Correct.
When General Lucky Rabot took over as Chief of Defense Staff, he and the rest of his team, they visited the operation theaters, and they assured the soldiers that they will be well taken care of. Now, we don't know where they are with that, but that is important. However, I hope nobody will expect that on the basis of the regimental training that soldiers have received and the nature of the war, that when they go to the battlefront, that they will expect to be put in a five-star hotel and be given a 3 full-course meal, right? So I hope that's not the expectation, because we've reached a stage now where in the last 24 hours, since that video came out, everybody has become an expert in military strategy.
So that's my
The same way we are all experts in football. Guardiola should not have played that. So all this attempt to control what happens at the battlefront from armchairs, I'm not into that.
This is it.
I'm into the fact that discipline is also as important as welfare. Look at one of the soldiers. He was referring to his brigade commander as, what is his name? Who is that person? No, we cannot encourage that, no matter how much we love the soldiers. And then the other challenge is use of social media. Now, these soldiers now, everybody is now going about with a smartphone. And are they there as photographers, as videographers, or they are there to go and fight Boko Haram? What is that? You recall the case of Brigadier General Olusegun Adeniyi, who was former theater commander of Operation Lafiya Dole. He was court-martialed.
Yes,
he was demoted. He was removed as commander of Operation Lafiya Dole. So I know this is the age of social media. We would like to pamper our soldiers, but we must also insist on discipline. I don't like the idea of any kind of indiscipline. The commander may have taken a strategic decision.
That's what I was thinking.
If they were inside that building and that building was bombed, or the enemy was approaching, how would they know?
Very well said, Dr. Abati. Rufai, we only have 30 seconds. A quick comment from you.
Mine is, those people are patriots.
They are.
They are putting their life on the line to fight for this country every single time. Can we honestly say we have done enough for our soldiers?
But that's another point.
Well, I mean, we cannot say so. That's why we're stressing welfare.
Correct.
Good equipment, excellent welfare.
That's the whole purpose of this conversation.
But to think you want a 5-star hotel, no.
Dr. Abati, thank you very much.
Thank you, Oji. Thank you.
Rufai.